Hi all, Jin here, and the nearly naked lady has arrived. I'm just going to start off with a disclaimer that I'll be referring to Cloud of Darkness as a her because, well, look at her. So this will be my how to play vid for Cloud of Darkness, where I go over her kit, EX Plus, and my thoughts and recommendations while taking her into the story chaos fight afterwards. As usual, in the pinned comment are timestamps for easy navigation, as well as a link to my full playlist for all the how to play vids I've done. So in regards to my pools, I had neither EX, so I was setting a max ticket limit of 100, and then if any EX showed up earlier, I would walk away with that one, since I actually consider Kefka the prize of the banner, and CoD the more exciting new one. If you've seen all of my pool battles, you have already seen 3 times where I quote-unquote reset the RNG by going out and sifting through the banners, and it yielded me the juicy EX on the next pool. Well, it worked again, only this time it was literally the next ticket, so the superstition continues. But honestly, I've done this many times where it doesn't work, but it's pretty funny how much it has worked also. All in all, only 35 tickets, so definitely very happy. Would have rather seen this kind of luck for Afmao, or hopefully she will have the same kind of luck, but we will see. And I didn't continue to try to get Kefka, but I can quickly go over my general thoughts on him and his kit, and why I think he is the better of the two on this banner. The only reason I didn't continue is if I want to get his LD and burst later, then I would just get his EX at that time. Kefka comes with a rework and EX realization and character boards. Both his abilities have more uses, hits, damage, and overflow. And his plus versions even have more overflow when enemies are debuffed. His debuffs are amazing also. Not only do they cover so many, but they're also pretty strong. Obviously 2 turns of blind and HP silence from his skill 1 is his bread and butter, and you should just save those for when you need it, like with Arciela, but unlike her, the blind is a nice addition to cover for when an enemy doesn't do an HP attack. His other debuffs are quite potent also from his skill 2, with attack 60% down, defense 70% down, and speed 40% down. And all of these will stack with his frame debuff from his EX, which give 20% down to all of the same 3, along with the 20% max brave sap effect. So essentially in total it's 80% attack down, 90% defense down, and 60% speed down. Pretty damn good. Keep in mind that everything I'm going over includes his character boards. His EX ability also extends his buff by 2 turns and has a 50% chance to instantly break a target. At 0-3 it becomes a guaranteed break with 50% splash. After his EX, his brave attack also becomes Meteor Plus, which is a 6 brave hit HP attack with 120% overflow and 50% splash. That refunds him 30% HP damage dealt. He only gets 1 use of it until his next EX cast, so just make sure you use it before you cast another EX. And this allows him to be an okay utility unit at 0-3, but you will definitely need to take him to 3-3 for general use, where he finally gets an HP plus and his EX hits twice as well. Similar to before, he works great with buffers since he only has 2 buffs on himself, with 1 being generic, but he doesn't work that great with debuffers since he has a whopping 6 debuffs, which is all an enemy can fit right now. It's not a big deal if you're running him with debuffers who overlap debuffs with him, but those with different debuffs would cause a bit too much of a headache with debuff management, since you'd never really want to push off his blind or HP silence. So even since he's non-elemental, he still doesn't go well with enchanters and imperilers. That being said, you can still make it work. Just use his skill 1 to apply the HP silence and blind when you need it, and just make sure not to push those off when they're applied. But it does become an issue again if enemies like to buff themselves. They can push off his debuffs, but it also works the other way where he is pretty much a dispeller with all his debuffs. And then it hurts him again if enemies have frame buffs. So a double-edged sword for sure. All in all, he's a great magic damage dealing unit that can neuter enemies as well, but you do have to build your team around him generally. He's a great unit, but you may want to just pull later with his LD and BT like I mentioned, because it's not that far off. And also Kefka is not the new exciting character on this banner obviously, so let's move on to the attractive lady thing that's here. Let's go over Cloud of Darkness's base kit first. She is a stack based character and her stacks called Darkness have a maximum of 5 with 10% damage overflow per stack. Her skill 1, Insulating Appendages, is a 4 AoE brave plus single target HP attack with 170% overflow that gives 1 stack of darkness or 2 stacks when breaking. It grants herself the unique buff Annulling Power, which gives her attack and max brave up of 50% for 6 turns, as well as counters HP attacks with 2 brave hits. And this counter will also give her 1 stack of darkness whether she's breaking or not. She also receives a Brave Plus, Toying Appendages, which is a 6 brave hit that grants 1 stack of darkness or 2 when breaking, as well as her HP plus Uncanny Beam, which is a 3 brave hit HP attack with 120% overflow and 20% splash that can only grant 1 stack of darkness when breaking and will grant 0 otherwise. Her skill 2, Wide Angle Particle Beam, is a 6 AoE brave 100% AoE HP attack with 135% overflow that delays all targets by 1 turn. It will extend her unique buff Annulling Power by 3 turns, but it will also consume all darkness stacks no matter how many stacks you have. If you have 5 stacks of darkness though, skill 2 becomes an upgraded version called Zero Form Particle Beam, which is a 6 Brave HP attack with 165% overflow and 20% splash, executed 3 times and delaying the target by 3 turns. It will still consume all darkness stacks, but does not consume an ability use. Her EX ability, Anti-Air Particle Beam, is a 6 Brave HP attack with 180% overflow that grants herself the unique buff Flood of Darkness, which is an attack up of 50% and a poison aura of 80% of all enemies I Brave. Her EX can also grant 1 stack of darkness upon use or 2 stacks when breaking. Her C65 and C70 is a 2 Brave hit that cancels the target's break, along with increasing her max Brave for 10% for 3 turns. With the bloom you get 2 additional uses, so definitely a must get. Now onto her EX Plus. At 0-3, her EX ability hits harder, gains 180% overflow, and can now delay the target by 1 turn as well. At 1-3, she gets attack and max Brave up of 60%. At 2-3, she starts with both her unique buffs. At 3-3, her EX hits harder, gains 230% overflow, and executes twice, with a Brave refund of 20% HP damage dealt after the first HP attack. So how much to invest? She's a magic damage dealer first and foremost, so don't bother using anything but 3-3 on her. That fast EX hitting twice and harder would be a lot of damage lost otherwise. I wouldn't even consider her delays worthy or dependable enough to use as a utility delayer at 0-3 either. If you 3-3 her sphere is quite good also, which increases magic attack by 3% up to 5 times when breaking or attacking a broken target. So essentially a 15% permanent magic attack increase after 5 turns. Perfect for any magic DPS or unit wanting more attack, which includes herself obviously. I'm not a fan that all her spheres are A, it just means she's a pure DPS, and that limits her utility even more. But clearly she is all about the damage, so increase her attack and Brave damage first, and max Brave would be an afterthought. Her arts follow a similar mindset, get 3 108s first and foremost, and then max her attack even more with her C50s that boost her attack and max Brave by 5%, and then 330s being an okay secondary as well. I do have one 108 C50 so far, which of course has to be 15 CP, but the others could use some work for sure, but at least most important is 3 108s. Now how to play Cloud of Darkness. If you're for some reason running a less than 2-3 CoD, start with skill 1 first to get her unique buff up, then it really depends on the fight situation after. Her kit is quite clunky with the stack building mechanic, especially due to the fact that her HP Plus does not build stacks without breaking, but your goal always will be how do I get to 5 stacks the most efficient way possible. So if you're building from low stacks, the best is to use her skill 1 or EX, which will guarantee at least 1 stack, but ideally you want to look for a break for 2 stacks. Her skill 1 is nice that it's AoE, so you can break enemies while dealing HP damage to the enemy you want, unlike her EX, which is lacking AoE Brave damage, so you will have to target the enemy you want to break to get an additional stack. A Brave attack will also work similarly to those both in building stacks, but that's obviously not as efficient. When you want to avoid a break, then you can use that. The best time to use her HP Plus is when there's a break opportunity and you're at 4 stacks. Otherwise, most breaks you want to use her EX or skill 1 for 2 stacks. If needing to conserve abilities when there's no break available, you can use Brave Plus, and if there's a break available, you can use HP Plus. Generally, every turn of hers it's best to try to increase her stacks. If you're going to use her skill 2 at anything but 5 stacks, use it early at 0 or 1 stack. Otherwise, it's just a big waste of all the stacks you already built. I really hate that she's built that way, because you almost don't want to use her skill 2 ever unless at 5 stacks. But then again, if you're doing that, you'd never consume an ability use of skill 2 ever either. Even using skill 2 at 0 stacks, you're losing a turn of building stacks. This is technically part of her cons, but it's also part of understanding how she is played as well. At least her standard skill 2 does do great damage at 100% AoE with overflow, so it's perfect for summon bursts. So for summoning with her, I'd probably want to be at 5 stacks, get a massive delay in damage and summon, and then just spam skill 2 afterwards. Always keep in mind her 3 uses of her AA that can unbreak an enemy for you, and then you can just break it for 2 stacks on demand. It is also a pseudo 1 turn delay, so it can be used as such, rather than use a standard skill 2 and lose all your stacks for nothing. If you have 5 stacks and EX up, and you don't immediately need the 3 turn delay, you could use the EX to take advantage of the extra 50% overflow from the stacks first, and then the 5 stacks skill 2 after. Or you can use the skill 2 first, and then use your EX to start building stacks again right after. I probably would go with the former choice, since using a skill 2 after the EX will also help to charge your EX again also. So onto her pros. She's a great non-elemental magic damage dealer, so she works well with enchanters. She actually works well with many supports and teammates really, since she only has 2 framed buffs and her AoE poison is just an aura, which can be stacked with other poisons, poison auras, saps, unique debuffs, etc. Both her normal skills do great AoE Brave damage, with skill 1 being single target HP attack with good overflow, and skill 2 100% AoE with some overflow, and that 1 turn AoE delay if needed. Her 5 stack skill 2 can also be technically nearly unlimited 3 turn delay that hits like a truck if you mainly only use her skill 2s at 5 stacks, but then of course you're constantly having to build up those stacks. She also has a fast EX that delays, adds stacks, and hits hard, and it can be pretty much a one ability charge EX if you run her with Selphie or remove her speed passive. But a side note, if you remove her speed passive, you get less max brave and less turns, so building stacks will take even longer. She also has a decent HP plus with Splash, but that leads me to her cons. Her HP plus can't build any stacks unless breaking, so it makes it really awkward to use her HP plus. And she brings nothing for the party except the poison aura and delays, so mainly it's just pure damage. She has no auras, no debuffs, no battery, nothing. And for proper delays, you need to do the stack build, and then you need breaks for better stack building. And even with breaks, it's not that fast. Generally, 3 of her turns are needed at minimum to build 5 stacks up. And then you can finally use that powerful 3 delay skill 2 on her 4th turn. So pretty much every 4th turn is a long ass time in a 3-person team comp. If you've only seen her soloing things, then it won't seem as bad. But then when she's in a 3-person team comp, those 4 turns take a while. And then to be faster than 4 turns, she does need to take HP damage to have her counter go off and get a stack, which we don't exactly want her taking HP damage, do we? If it was a counter on any attack, then it would have been better. And why the fuck, when she's not at 5 stacks, did they make it so that she still consumes all her stacks when using skill 2 and she gets no benefit from it even, outside of having more overflow, obviously. The least I think they should have done was just not give any stacks but let us keep the stacks we've accrued. Her oft-used EX deals only single target damage and with no AoE brave damage even. It may also leave you in a pinch sometimes if you need to shave multiple enemies, and also requires you to target the enemy you want to break or delay, even if you'd prefer to deal HP damage to another enemy. So my final thoughts, I'm going to be honest, her kit is not my cup of tea. I love supports the most, and she's pretty much the exact opposite. As mentioned, she brings pretty much 0 party utility, just the poison aura and delays. And she requires a stack building on top of that, and it's not a fast building either, even with breaks. You'll ideally want support units around her that give good buffs and auras, they don't take many breaks themselves, and provide brave regen and or battery. I maxed her for fun to do this video, and just cause look at her, she thick. But I'm not really going to recommend to max her unless you're in need of a magic DPS. Well, her sphere is also pretty damn good too, but Kefka I'd say is the real prize of the banner, who also brings almost as good of a sphere, and just better utility overall with his debuffs and HP silence. But for Kefka, you're also kind of better off waiting for his LD and BT, so this banner is kind of a minimal investment banner I'd suggest for most. It was for me, and I fortunately happened to get Cloud of Darkness on that minimal investment. And hopefully my overall thoughts doesn't put a damper on people who pulled Cloud of Darkness, since she's still a great unit in terms of magic damage, just not the type of unit I normally prefer to build. Well, since I did obviously build her though, character boards and everything, let's see what she's like in action. I am definitely going to build a team around her, as you should with all your units, to show you what she can do at top speed. So I'm going to bring Selphie for that 1 ability EX, and we can get Rem for letting her build her stacks fast and neither take breaks much either, and Brothers for the max brave. Alright, let's do this. So this could be done as a co-op obviously, but I'm going to do it solo for now. So they do resist melee. Even though we don't have a Kais with us, we can take a friend Kais, why not? Shout out to Josh Johnson for his Kais. Let's go. If you've been watching my vids for some time, you can definitely see how useful Rem and Selphie are and have been for a while now. I've used them to showcase many units because they just work so well with so many units. I've always felt that they're both quite underrated. We'll start with our skill 1, get the breaks. So I'll have 2 stacks now. Get a wall up. And since they're both targeting Cloud of Darkness, I'm just gonna cure her battery and get the attack aura up. And since no one has breaks available, I'm just gonna use a skill 1 again, get to 3 stacks. Let's go ahead and HP plus for now. They might do an HP attack, so I'll do drain after. Oh man, that guy's missing a lot. You can see the poison aura is really nice. And let's get Cloud of Darkness, her buffs. And she can get her breaks here. Now our EX is up. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my EX first, and then I use my skill 2 after. Now let's use our skill 2 on this guy, since the other guy's already gone. Ooh! Now let's get her EX up. Let's get her buffs up. So this is nice and neither of them will break. Leave it all for Cloud of Darkness. Start rebuilding her stacks. Yeah, we'll leave that EX for later. This should give me a one to build the EX now. Let's start getting her EX still up. Perfect. Ow. I hate that. But that's a nice way to get our 3 stacks. And we're gonna go ahead and get another stack here on B. A should be coming out of break. Yep. Let's go ahead and kill them evenly. And we'll get her stacks. Go ahead and bring Selphie back up actually. Got the heals. They're just leaving all the breaks still. So this is a good time for HP plus, get my 5th stack. And let's go ahead and bring her back up. And we just get goodbye, no all attack for you. Goodbye. Bye. Let's get a wall back up. And we'll use a skill 1, get a stack. And then get another stack here, and he should be dead. Yep, let's get our EX up. And we got a break here. Let's go with our skill 1, get 2 stacks. And we'll bring her back up. Let's go ahead and get our 5th stack here. Now this is where we send them into oblivion. I kind of want to do it during summon. I will save for later. Yeah, let's bring her up. Perfect. Now we got our 2 stacks here. Let's go ahead and cure her, get our cure buff up. And while we're at it, we're gonna do this. Wait, I didn't even see that little guy. I got a break from him. Wow, I'm blind. So I'm gonna want to shave here. But I want her to shave. It's okay. I can shave it. Let's go ahead and get our wall up too. Now I'm going to use my HP plus, get my 5 stacks and EX up. And we're going to bring her back up. And let's summon. Goodbye. Yeah, let's battery her. We can do that for HP plus damage. Now we can spam her skill 2 and summon. Oh, I got the EX first. Alright, that's fine. And let's go ahead and bring some Kais in. Let's go after Cloud of Darkness. Yeah, because I want her in summon still. So I'm gonna go after Cloud of Darkness. I want her to do the skill 2 in summon. Perfect. I'm gonna save that launch. Yeah, I'm just keep spamming skill 2 for now. Get that launch. Ooh, it's almost dead. See, if I could use her EX and get that break, it would be nice, but I have to target to get that break, which sucks. That's the sucky thing about her EX. So I'm gonna use her skill 1 here. I'm running out of skills a little bit though. Okay, fine. This is really a waste of a stack. I'm just gonna use my HP plus. There we go. This Kais is pretty ridiculous. That's better here. There we go. He keeps stealing all our breaks. It's okay. Let's use another skill 1. My game feels slowed down right now. The delay. I didn't really need to do that because I'm at 4 stacks, but I do want to delay it a bit more. And then now we can use the 5 stack delay. Let's go with HP plus. Finally, the aura is back. Felt like Selphie was out forever. Perfect. I'm gonna be out of skill 1, so it's okay. His fight's almost over. Wall up. Should come out of break by the time Cloud of Darkness goes. Can I break in with this? Yep. Damn, definitely can. And come back up with your beautiful 5 stacks. Goodbye. I'm not gonna see what that recast ability does. No thank you. Because pretty much if you're using Cloud of Darkness, you're playing the delayed game. And this is the delayed game. Let's just let her finish it off in style. She's obviously dealing tons of damage. She's synergy. She has great support with her. And she can delay until no end. I think the boss got what, 1 turn? 2 most. Didn't get the recast ability off. So definitely a great delay unit as well while dealing damage, but it's a bit too much to work with, I think, and she doesn't bring much else to the party, which is what I prefer the most. But definitely a great magic unit if you need one, and Kefka as well, so hopefully this video helps show a bit of what she can do. And she was the primary DPS and took out the entire chaos pretty much herself. I mean, obviously Selphie and Rem, they don't do much in terms of damage. Kai's helped, but she pretty much did all of that on her own, so she doesn't really burn out as quick as I burned her out here too, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You can see my arts again. She has all her character boards. The arts are okay enough. Selphie, big troll, don't do this. I want to remove that so bad. Pretty close to perfect, not quite. Rem, always perfect. And thanks for watching. Hopefully I do get Aphmau. I'm only doing tickets on her, probably 200 max. But if I do get her, then I will be doing a video on Aphmau as well. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed. Bye.